Welcome back to the Cat Knit Podcast. My name is Grace, and today is Monday, December 7th. This is a podcast about knitting, books, baking, and cats, but most importantly knitting, because that is what I love to do all day, every day. And today we don't have as much to talk about, but that's okay. If you like to follow me on any of my social medias, I have Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Ravelry. I'm most active on Instagram, so please go follow me over on there if you like or not, whatever you so desire. I also have show notes to things that I will be talking about in this episode. So yeah, that is on my blog. So if you are on YouTube, the link to my blog will be down below. Or if you're on my blog already, everything is already there. Yeah, I don't really have a whole lot to show you guys this week. Let's just say the advent calendar has been very distracting. But in the best way possible, you know. It's all good. It's all good. So let's just get into it. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but that's okay. It'll be fine. It's still a podcast episode. So if you would like to grab something tasty to drink, I have leftover coffee in my mug, my Christmas mug. I don't have very many Christmas mugs, but I have 4 that are in this set. It's Wish, Joy, Mary, and Hope, I think. And Wish, of course. I think that's it. I actually don't remember. But we registered for those. They were on our wedding registry, and I love them quite a lot. And since we only have 4 of them, I feel like they get used quite regularly during the holiday times, which is quite fun. So I have my coffee in here. I have my holiday beverage that I have made myself in here. You could grab something to snack upon, something to craft upon, an animal to snuggle, laundry to fold, maybe you're making dinner, maybe you're working out, you could be doing something else, I don't know what you are doing, or none of the above, or all of the above. Be a major multitasker. You can come back and join me for some crafty chat. So, everyone, I don't know where to start with things to talk about. I also don't know what to talk about. I literally had like a list of things to discuss. And I set my mug down and they have all left my mind. Oh, I know one thing. One thing that is very important. So, the holiday schedule for this podcast. I have never been adventurous enough to do Vlogmas. I have amazing respect for those who do. I have never tried daily vlogging, and I feel like that would be very overwhelming. I know it's possible, but I don't know. So Vlogmas has not been a thing that I have done before. I'm not saying that I'll never do it, but I'm not doing it this year. I do know that. Seeing that it is already December 7th and I have not daily vlogged. So, but I usually take some time off from the podcast around Christmas time, end of December to the rest of the year. I think that was some ice falling out of the refrigerator. Fun times. When you have to decipher what mysterious sounds are from afar and you're like, it's not an intruder, it's just ice falling out of the ice maker. Right? I know I'm not the only one. So today is the 7th, like I said. My plan is to do one more podcast episode on December 14th, which is next Monday, which obviously things will go up on the 9th and the 16th, but I will take the 21st off and the 28th off, and my plan is to be back on the 4th, January 4th of 2021. So I'll have 2 weeks off because we are spending Christmas with my family, and that is going to be involving some traveling, which is very exciting. But I just want to be present and have a good time, and also just take a break because I want to take a break. Not that I don't love the podcast, that's not at all what I'm saying, but taking breaks is good. Just having a little relaxing time. So yes, there's this episode and then one more, and then I'll be done for the rest of the year until the 4th of January, which I just said. So just reiterating what's going on here. Also, so I talked about that. What else did I want to talk about? We made sugar cookies. We decorated them this past Thursday. It's a lot of fun. And I filmed some of it, not all of it, because I forgot. So that's bad on me, but I did try. I do normally do that during the holiday season. I will kind of put together like a montage of me baking. And I don't know, I have bits, but it's not like complete cookie baking because we didn't get to see us decorating them. So I do have pictures. Does that count? I don't know. So I may include that in next week's episode. I also have dough making planned tomorrow and Wednesday. Because since traveling is involved and people's schedules are different than other family members' schedules for our Christmas, I am making cookie dough balls to be frozen and transported by those who are driving and baked whenever. So I am in charge of that. So I may film that for next week. I don't actually know. It would have been better had I had it planned for this week because I know that this episode is going to be much shorter, but that's okay. That's okay. So I have 4 projects sitting here. I've worked only on 2 of them, but I have gotten quite a bit done on the 2 things that I have worked on. One of them has a deadline of the 12th, which would be this coming Saturday, which I'm not worried about. It's fine. And the other one has no deadline, and I'm just distracted. Like I said at the beginning, I'm distracted by my advent calendar, which is pineapple yarn, by the way, and I'm loving it so much. So much. The other 2 are things that I want to work on and things that I need to work on. And yeah, need to start planning. We're just thinking about in a fun way. This is not a stressful thing. Planning holiday knitting is not a stressful thing. It is not something that needs to be overthought or whatever. Just don't worry about it. I'm saying this more to myself than I am to you. Though if this is helpful to you, I'm glad I'm not alone. I know this happens for like any trip. The few that we have taken this year because there's the pandemic. But I just overthink travel knitting, and especially when it's around the holidays and I want it to be special and I want it to be like memorable and I want to have something really nice and blah blah blah. It really doesn't matter if I knit on it and I know I'm like having a good time. That's all that really matters, you know? That's all that really matters. So let's get into what I'm working on, shall we? So in this bag, I have my test knit for Isabel Kramer, Snitdroning. Eventually I'm not going to need this and I can throw this away, but I still have this here. Which is Danish for Snow Queen, I believe. You know, I really hope that's correct because I've been saying this for I don't know how many weeks at this point, but I hope that is correct. That's what the internet told me, so The place that I got that information seemed to be a pretty reputable source. So I'm hoping that that is correct, but everyone, I have a single sleeve. A single sleeve I have. Ta-da! And I knit it in about 2 days, probably one, had I really powered through. But I didn't because I have an advent calendar. I really wanted to work on that. So this is great. I did alternate skeins on my sleeve, and to be completely honest, I really hated it. I really don't like alternating skeins. It's kind of the worst. It's really not fun, and it's definitely needed. Like, it's very important. That's not true. Do I hate it? I don't know. That's a very strong word. I don't like to use the word hate a lot unless I truly do dislike something, but do I really hate alternating skeins? For sleeves, yes, for sure. For the body of something, maybe not as much, like that's fine. But a sleeve that I know, whoa, I just, very passionate about this. Oh my goodness gracious. What is this episode? It'll be a long episode. It's just me rambling and not a whole lot of knitting discussion or showing you my knitting. On a sleeve, alternating skeins. When I know that I can rip through a sleeve in a day, half a day, and I'm slowed down by having to alternate skeins, it's very irksome. I think irksome is a funny word. So I'm not really looking forward to doing this on the second sleeve. But I did power through. There were many times where I wanted to give up and not finish this sleeve when I was working on it. But I did power through, and I feel very proud of myself because it did get done. We do have, I thought this was going to be reverse stockinette. It is not. It is garter stitch in the round hem, so we also have that on the body. I don't remember if I mentioned that last week. That is definitely folding up, but that's okay. And so then I just have this second sleeve to do, which we all know that the second sleeve goes faster, and if I knit the first sleeve in 2 days, we are hoping for 1 day, but we will see. I actually have to get it started. I'm procrastinating quite a bit. I also have on here, I've been using my Hand Stitch Life Progress Keeper. Ooh! This beautiful snowflake. And then I also have my unicorn stitch marker from A Needle Runs Through It. Pardon my gross nails. It's on my to-do list to do my nails today. I don't know if it's actually going to get done. I wrote it down. We will see. My yarn is, the main color is Happy Accident by Suburban Stitcher. The pink for the color work is Nougat from Stranded Dye Works, and then I held just a white mohair with the pink to get the fuzzy. I am very happy with how it turned out, so I'm excited to wear this. Not looking forward to alternating skeins, but you know, life lessons, we do learn things and we have to learn things the hard way. And I do not want my sleeves to look funny because it will bug me. So really I shouldn't be complaining, because if I didn't, I'm the only one who's forcing myself to do this, and if I didn't do it, I know I would be very grumpy. I'm also just not a fan. I know there's nice ways to do it, but it just doesn't look very good. I know it could look way better, and maybe it's because I had a bad attitude about it, and it just doesn't look good because I was being grumpy. Probably because that is the reason why. because that was grammatically correct. In a lot of Isabel's patterns, she has a purl stitch at the beginning of your round to create like a faux seam, and so I kind of like switch from stitch to stitch in that general area to not create like a gap when I was changing skeins. And I tried my hardest not to be super tight or super loose and just kind of be, doesn't look that bad on camera, but like, praise and hallelujah for blocking, because if I did not have that, this would look like, boop, not good. So, we are grateful for blocking and the wonders that it does, and the mistakes and inconsistencies that it can hide. This is due on the 12th, which is Saturday. So my plan is to knit the entire sleeve tomorrow, because that makes sense. It's not like I have a lot of other things that need to be done and take time, and I don't know. And then theoretically I could block it on Wednesday, take pictures on Thursday, and then be a day early, which would be really great. But I could take Tuesday and Wednesday to knit a sleeve, block Thursday, pictures Friday, post Saturday. I know it's gonna get done. I know it'll be fine. It's totally okay. I have had closer calls to deadlines before, and I knew that this would be a tight squeeze in regards to the deadline, but I really wanted to do this. So this is no one's fault but my own, and I have no one to blame but myself. So I just need to stop complaining. It'll be fine. I will get it done. The second thing that I've been working on, everyone, I've already mentioned it several times. It is my advent calendar from Pineapple Yarn, and I cannot express to you how happy this thing makes me. I am so happy. So I have this advent calendar. My mom and my sister also have this advent calendar. We are all making the Dotted Rays by Stephen West, and because advent calendars are very flexible in how you do them, how you open them, how you use them, you can do whatever you want. So my mom, I'm not sure how she's using it, but my sister has picked out how she's going to be using it in knitting her Dotted Rays. I am following it day by day. There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's really just like however you want to. It's your advent calendar. Enjoy it. So I'm doing it day by day, which is creating, sorry, I just hit the tripod, the most beautiful fade, and it is very neon, and I love it so much. And here it is. Wow, that's really bright on camera. This is amazing. I don't know how it's gonna show up on your screen, but on my screen, it's very bright, which is very accurate. It's showing up more green on my screen. It's a little bit more bluey yellow. And you might be like, wow, that all looks the same. It is definitely fading. I can definitely tell you that. So we can see this is, especially this part that's on my needles right now, is definitely darker, more colorful than the previous skeins. She has done such a good job with this yarn and creating a gradual fade. Like, here you can kind of see it a little bit better. So yes, I am super excited. I'm currently knitting day 6, which was yesterday's. I have yet to knit up day 7, which is today, but this is the one for today, which I wound up last night. And yes, I did open it before the 7th day, but that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to do your advent calendar. You do it how it brings you joy, and that's all that matters. And I just wanted to wind it up because I knew I wouldn't have time today. So yes, this is day 7 these are the little tags that she is including around the mini skeins. So she is from South Carolina. Here is her website, pineappleyarn.com. And she creates the most beautiful things. She also put together like the best box. Marina put together the best box because it there were still things, but not big things. Like in past years I got a candle from the Dragon Horde and Yarn Cafe Creations that I did last year. I think there was something in Diane's box because I did the Suburban Stitcher. Fun fact, this is actually my advent calendar from 2 years ago that I got done like 2 weeks before December 1st. So I have completed the last year's advent calendar. It just hasn't really been finished. The ends still need to be connected, but it's done. Like the knitting is done. But yes, this is Suburban Stitcher's advent calendar from 2 years ago. And I don't remember if there was anything in that box. But in this box that we got from Pineapple Yarn, there was a super cute little mini pink notebook. There was some tea. There was also a little progress keeper that is a little sun. And I love it. I feel like it goes very well with the brand and just the yarn, and it's all happy. And now I can actually move it. And you can see the progress that I will have made, you know. And then also, she included a bag of lemon heads, which I had never had a lemon head before. I don't know why or how or what, but they're my new favorite thing. They're amazing. Yeah, they're just my favorite. And so I have like been loving having this bag of lemon heads. I have been eating them very sparingly, even though there's a lot of them in the bag because they are very small. But I usually have one. I have one when I start working on this or something like that, or if like I'm sitting down to do some work on something else, and I'll just have one as like a nice little treat, being like, oh, this is my advent candy. I love it. It's the best. And I was not expecting that at all. Not that I was expecting anything. I was just very happy to have the yarn because it wasn't indicated on the product listing. So it was a very sweet surprise, and yeah, she just did a really amazing job with the packaging. The little bags that they're in are super cute. They're very colorful. The side of the box is Pineapple Yarn Advent Calendar 2020, which is just really amazing. So I'm keeping everything in there. It's amazing. I love it. Have I said that it's amazing? Because it's amazing. So this is very distracting. I also really I love this pattern. It's Dotted Rays by Stephen West. I started knitting one several years ago. We were still living in Dallas. So 3 years ago? 3-ish years ago. I started knitting one, and I just, like, I wasn't happy with my yarn choices, and I didn't really know how to fade well. I think I was just kind of overwhelmed by fading at the time, and so I ripped it out. I dropped it because I knew I wouldn't finish it. I think I was also knitting it at a really tight gauge, and I wasn't a fan. And I'm sure if you go back to those episodes, I've definitely talked about it. But yeah, like it had nothing to do with the pattern. I think I also had made some silly mistakes, and I didn't know how to fix them, but like the mistakes that I made threw off the alignment of the yarn over holes, and so I was just like, I don't know how to fix this, and this is the worst. So I also don't like my yarn, so I'm just gonna give up, which is fine in the end because I wouldn't want to finish a shawl that I wasn't happy with. And that yarn went to be other things and was very happy in its new home, in its new creation. And now I'm making a new one that is perfectly faded. And now I have even more fading knowledge, so even if I didn't have a fading advent calendar, I knew it would be fine. But it's just, I've grown up as a knitter. Let's just say that. I have more experience. I'm more wise in my knitterly ways. I know what I'm doing. Not that I didn't know what I was doing three-ish years ago, but I know more now, and I'm loving it. I can see myself making many more of these. No shame. No shame. So that is my advent calendar for 2020. Pineapple yarn, Merino, does an amazing job with the yarn. The base is also it's got a really nice twist. It's very soft, amazing, would highly recommend. So next up, the things that I am putting into rotation this week is grammar. My test knit for Susan of Ye On Ye Knits, and this is a bottom up sweater that is faded, and we got some cool texture in here. You may be like, wow, this is not grown since the last time I saw it, and I would say yes, you would be correct. But I would also tell you that there's another deadline that is way sooner than this one, which is really great, and Advent knitting. But I just need to work on this. I think once the second sleeve gets done, this is like the new priority besides the Advent knitting, you know. Just having too much fun. Too much fun. I have a Christmas light from Hand Stitch Life. It's a little stitch marker and I really love it. I need to put a progress keeper on this one, but yes. So this is really great. I have a lot of stash in here. This is all stash. I feel like I have faded it beautifully, if I do say so myself. Say so myself. Pat on the back for that one. And yeah, it will fade ultimately into this gray, which I'm very happy with. I feel like this is going to be a cool transition, literally into a cool color, because it is called Mist. I believe this is the color that is it? Or is it this one? Oh no, I think it's actually this one. Neither of them have ball bands, so that's great. But I do know they're mostly full palette balls, so this is really exciting. Moving forward with this, I think it's just taken me so long because I've been working on other things, but also because there are just so many stitches around, because it is bottom up, so you have more stitches, which is another fun way to knit a sweater. Top down, bottom up, side to side. Is there a diagonal one? I don't know. I don't think there is. Not in my experience. I have not experienced a diagonally knit sweater. Have I? Maybe like a vest. Like I could see a vest being knit on the diagonal. There's a lot of ways to do things, you know. So that's next up on my priority list. And then also, I've just been thinking about this and how much I want to knit this. This is in my Vera Bradley Dop Kit bag, because why not? This is my Birch Creek Bandana by Rachel of September Knits. This came out in the Wisp collection from Farmer's Daughters Fibers. I'm using both Farmer's Daughters Fibers. I have the I know the ball bands are in here. The Surrey is the Odang base in the Heartbreak Hotel. And then we have Foxy Lady in the Hawk Boy colorway. So the fuzzy is the Odang. And then that is, what did I say? Hawk Boy. So that's the one side. There's the other side. I love it. I clearly have not made any progress since I last showed you, thanks to my pumpkin pie progress keeper from Little Bitty Delights, which I love dearly. Most of my stitch markers are from Hand Stitch Life as well, because I love her stitch markers. They are so wonderful. You can kind of see. Boop. This is not... It'd help if I covered up my face, you know, but it's hard to do that with just two hands. I need another hand. You know, this is not working out very well. Here you can kind of see some of them. Yep. So, this would be... I'm going to put these back in the right place, otherwise I'll probably lose them. This is probably something that I'll bring as a traveling holiday project, maybe? I don't know. I think so, though, because I feel like this would be a nice project to have. But then there's Advent knitting, and those rows are not getting shorter, I can tell you that. But after Slipstravaganza, like, I know that there are other shawls of his that are also just as big, if not bigger, and Dotted Rays may be one of them. So, yes. Oh, excuse me. Ooh. I do apologize. I don't know. Am I sleepy? I think I'm not sleepy, but I'm physically tired. Right, you know, I don't know. I've done all the laundry. The laundry's wrapped most of Sam's packages today, so that's really exciting. He had to go into the office for a meeting, an in-person meeting, so he's actually been gone all day, which has enabled me to wrap most of his packages. I also, okay, everybody, here, let's have a little pause. There's a lot of thoughts going on right now. There are things, this is gonna sound really weird, like, do I say what it is? Do I not? I don't know. Will Sam watch this? I don't know. Also, so since we're leaving, excuse me, since we're doing Christmas with my family, and we're traveling to Colorado, we are leaving on the 23rd. So Sam and I are having our own Christmas, just him and I, on the 22nd. So I have from now until the 21st to finish his Penguono, because that's also going on. Have I worked on it at all last week? Nope. Not at all. Because Advent knitting, people, like, it's just too much to not do. I just can't. I know I said I had a plan. I know I said it would be fine, but here I am being like, okay, we gotta open the day before so we can wind it up so we're ready to go. Because it's so much fun. Sometimes I'm really good with my knitting plans, and other times I'm really not that great. I just get too excited and all the plans go out the window. Excuse me, I just have something stuck in my throat. Yay, allergies. Also, this up and down temperature that we're having, I just can't even, not a fan. Like, it's one thing if you can keep your air conditioner on the entire time, but one day you have your heater on, and then the next day you have your air conditioner on, and it goes up and down and up and up, and like, I don't do that very well. It's just not very fun. I'm not a fan, and I just don't want, like, that's happening all this week, and I'm not really looking forward to it. So we're gonna distract ourselves by knitting our Advent shawl. But also finishing a sleeve, working on this other tusk knit, and that would be insane. Working on a penguono all this week. We're not going to get overwhelmed. It's going to be fine. It just, day by day, it will be okay. Okay? I'm talking to myself. It'll be okay. What was I talking about? Yes. Our Christmas is December 22nd. We will be giving each other gifts and stuff on the 22nd. And one tradition that Sam has had with his family is that usually on Christmas Eve, his parents will give him and his brothers a new ornament for the tree. And so we have started doing that as well, which is really wonderful. We have ornaments through the years, past 3 years, almost 4 years in January, which is kind of crazy. But I'm making his ornament this year. Great. That being said, I'm so glad I don't have a whole lot of holiday making currently, because I feel like I would be stressed out more so than I already am, which is really not that much. When I slow down, it's not that much. When I'm like really going fast, it's a lot. But when I slow down, I remember it's okay. It's not that bad. So I'm making him an ornament. And I'm actually also going to be making his two brothers the same thing. Not necessarily an ornament, but you can make it into an ornament, whatever. And I feel like they're like, Sam's not gonna watch this. I need to finish this. Okay, we're just gonna go and say it. So if you are familiar with internet game sensations, you may be aware of a game called Among Us, and it's quite fun. It's also quite irritating. There is a computer version. I don't know where you get that. I don't know how I'm recording a podcast. Can we just be quiet? Shh. Still being super loud. I don't know how you get it, where you get it on the computer, but you just do. I don't think it's available for Macs. Fun fact. I don't know how I know that or why I know that, but probably because I can't play it on my computer. I have an Apple. But they do have a free version for your phone. So I have played it a couple times with my in-laws, which is quite fun. But if you're unfamiliar with it, it's basically like the card game Mafia. And so you have the imposter, and you go around, and if you're not the imposter, you have tasks to do, and then if you are the imposter, you try and very discreetly kill people, and then there's meetings, and then you vote people out, and you have discussions, you try and find the imposter, blah, blah, blah. You all have your specific color. You look like a little astronaut, basically. You've got your little goggles, you've got a backpack, and then when you get killed, fun fact, your head gets chopped off and there's a little bone sticking out. Which somehow that's cute. I don't know how that's cute, but it is. And so that has been quite a popular game that Sam has enjoyed playing this year, as has his brothers, together and with other people. And so I have found a very clear, which is very helpful for me, very clear crochet tutorial to make these little astronaut guys. And I've picked out the colors. I'm very excited. But I have to watch this video that's very clearly step by step, which is very exciting. I tried to find a knitting version because I was like, I don't have time to figure out crocheting terminology because I don't know what it is and I don't know how to do all these things. I need a knitting one. And then I came across this crocheted one. Actually, I think it was the first one I clicked on. And it took me to a blog post, which was very well written. And then there was a video of like step-by-step how-to instructions, and I was like, this is what I need. This is perfect. Yes. So I'm hoping it won't take me very long, but I have a feeling it probably will. And I also have to figure out when to make it because this is supposed to be a surprise. Sam knows about his penguino. That's fine. But I want these little guys to be a surprise. So yeah, I need to work on that. I don't think I have any more time to do that today. Maybe, I don't know. Because I think he's on his way home, actually. But he may be, I don't know. I have to figure it out. I'll get it done. It'll get done. It'll be fine. So, that is what I'm doing for Sam. He's actually getting quite a few handmade projects or gifts this year, which I'm very excited about. So yes, I am excited. And I think that's all the fibery goodness that I have to talk about, actually. Sorry, that was a very abrupt end to my story. I was feeling very excited about that. But yeah. So yeah, I think that's all that I have to share with you. I have already shared my baking stuff that is happening, that has happened and will happen. Hopefully I will put something together. If not, just because I was too busy. It's not for lack of trying, it's just because there was just too much going on. I'm reading and listening to a lot. I'm trying to read with my eyes more, mainly because the books that I want to read are not available in audiobook form currently. So I am hopefully will help me get my knitting done. Also while watching Christmas movies, because that is important. And Hallmark Christmas movies, because that is even more important, you know? Gotta get those watched, because they are the best. We actually watched The Christmas Prince last night, which I think is my third time seeing it. It's so ridiculous. If you enjoy that movie, I am so glad. It's not that I don't enjoy this movie, it's just really funny. And so we were just poking fun at it the entire time and just poking holes in the plot and stuff like that. And had a great laugh. It was very fun. And so I think tonight we might watch the second one, and then tomorrow we'll watch the third one, because we have to watch all of them. No, there's also the Vanessa Hudgens one, the Princess Switch, or Switched Princess, or something like that. There's a new one. That trailer looked hilarious. Definitely needing to watch that one too. So there are some other ones that we are planning on watching that are not as funny necessarily, or more heartfelt, like Klaus. Klaus came out last year sometime, and that is just one of the most beautiful and just amazing Christmas movies or holiday movies out there. In my opinion, like, we watched that the first time last year, and I was just weeping the entire time because it was so beautiful, and it was also so sad, but it was also so sweet and like heartfelt, and just all the emotions. I've heard Jingle Jangle is also very good. That's a new one out this year on Netflix. And then also there is an animated version of The Grinch with Benedict Cumberbatch that we watched last year, that came out last year, I believe. And that was very good. Neither Sam or I are big fans of The Grinch. It's never been a staple for us in our holiday movie watching. But this one that is animated with Benedict Cumberbatch was just, we really enjoyed it. So would highly recommend that one as well. Noel on Disney Plus is very entertaining. Would highly recommend that one. And then you have your classics, Santa Claus, White Christmas, Elf, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, of course. Christmas with the Cranks, solid. We enjoy, Muppets Christmas Carol, of course. Can't forget that one. We watched that while we put up our tree. I might have mentioned that last week. I don't remember. Apologies if I did. But anyway, this is the end of this episode. I'm sorry there was not as much knitting discussion. I'm sorry it was mainly me talking about random things and ranting and raving and just doing whatever. So thank you very much for hanging out with me. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you were productive. If you were folding your laundry or if you were crafting, hope you got some good snuggles in with your animal. If you were snuggling with your animal, you enjoyed your snack or beverage. Social medias and show notes will be all the places. If you'd like to follow me or check out the show notes. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me a message or just to say hello. I would love that. And yes, I hope you had a wonderful weekend and you continue to have a wonderful week. If you have crafty plans, I hope that they are successful. I have so many crafty plans that have to happen this week. In the next 2 weeks. But it'll be okay, you know, it'll be fine. I know I can do it if I put my mind to it. I can. I know I can. We will not overthink it and we will not worry about it. We'll take one day at a time. 1 hour at a time, you know? Really, just chop it down even more. 1 half hour at a time. 15 minutes at a time. It will be okay. It will be totally okay. And yes, also still doing all those things while still enjoying the Advent knitting, not being overwhelmed, also while baking things. And then the regular life things that need to happen. Like I mention, I feel like almost every episode, the laundry, the kitty litter, stuff like that, that's important. So we cannot continue life if we do not do the kitty litter, because then Birdie will poop outside the box. And we don't want that because it's just a pain in the butt to pick up. Anyway, this is not what this podcast is about. I'm saying goodbye. We have resulted in talking about cat poop. I apologize. That's not great. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope you are having a wonderful day, night, whatever you are experiencing when you watch this. You are wonderful. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. You are a wonderful person. And yes, so with that, I will see you guys next week for the last episode of 2020, which is kind of crazy, but fun things. Hopefully a lot of knitting will happen this week and I will have a lot to show you next week. Bye.